Oh God, that's truly terrifying. Like one day a spectral Aaron Rodgers will appear in my window, coming to drag me away from my sins.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls all around the world, we bring you another ripping edition of the Dan vs. D Sports and Stuff podcast. Dan vs. D with the initials DVD, which is short for DVD player. I'm your player. D with two E's. And normally to my right, but today he's on my left, is...
We'll say it's to your radio right. It's Dan with an A-N.
Mm-hmm. And also, I think I messed up my thing up, too.
You messed up your thing up?
Yeah, I said, like, DVD, short for DVD player.
Well, I'm Dan, short for Dan.
But there's someone different, like, on my right here. We got a special guest tonight. Well, it's actually the daytime, but I think it's like our first like daytime stream too.
Oh my God, are we going full soap?
Yo, man.
Daytime. This is some daytime television here on DVD.
But here's the man of the hour. Introduce yourself. Who are you? Who the heck are you?
What's up, guys? I come to you from the frozen white north. Not so frozen now, but it will be most of the time. Can wake up in the morning and hear the winds howling off the frozen ice plains. So, I'm Zack. I'm here on this awesome podcast. I'm here to talk about some small town sports.
Oh, man. And stuff. Yo, and you know what's intriguing, man?
Yes.
So...
Well, I don't, actually.
Yeah, that was the surprise here. Zack, are you aware that you're appearing on the 13th episode?
Excellent.
If my counting is correct, man, like it is the 13th episode.
I am. Actually, I don't have a good pun there, but I like the timing a lot. I listen to a lot of doom metal, so it works.
I mean, for the one person to think of for the appear on the 13th episode, like no one would come close to you, man. Like So the timing couldn't have been more perfect. Woo!
Awesome. I'm glad you're here, buddy.
Glad to be here, but guys.
Word.
All right, so. It's been a little bit. This is going to be a little bit weird because you're probably going to be hearing this a little bit, probably a week after the LeBron reaction episode, which is now month-old news. But anyway, so what else has been happening recently? We're actually kind of getting geared up for football, all fucking ready.
Oh, you ready for some football? And the rules that make no sense.
And the teams and the 80% of the best players getting injured.
That hasn't happened yet. Well, actually, you have your typical like torn ACLs during training camp, but the catastrophic stuff hasn't happened yet. That'll be like week 4.
Right. Yeah.
Hopefully it's not.
That'll be when Deshaun Watson goes down.
Not him again, please, man. That was like my last hope for like good football outside of like New England.
And I'm sure there will be one surprise going down in like game 1 of the year.
Usually that's how it happens.
So like the surprise that won't be a surprise of nobody like being able to interpret the rules properly.
Yeah,
man.
Yeah. Defenders have no idea what to do now. So they're, I guess, not supposed to hit with their helmets, but they're not supposed to do anything else either.
What are they just gonna do? Just play touch football at this point?
No, I think now there is no. I think they just need to eliminate the tackle altogether and just have hugging. So you run up to a guy and you just hug him.
Well, even then, like if your head is up, they're still gonna penalize you 15 yards. But you hugged them when you had your head up, so that's 15 yards.
No, but CD, if you do that, you're still touching them. So instead, it'll be a gentle pat on the shoulder and a compliment about their appearance for the day.
I mean, like,
you're looking spiffy in that uniform there, Doug.
I mean, can they just do like flag football? Because I remember like like my little nephew, like last year played flag football. I mean, at this point, like might as well just do that. I mean, there'll still be like torn ACLs and stuff, but still, like, and that's the only solution I can come up with. Still, like just muddying the rules and just like making it to the point where it's just a mess that no one knows what's going on.
And okay, I maintain the belief that they could very easily solve the problem with the rules in the actual rule book, but I don't know how you solve the problem of just the fact that the sport is literally played at a speed that is impossible to officiate now. Mm-hmm. Other than having, like, the game stop for a video replay every single time so they make sure every rule was applied correctly. Mm. It's, the old joke is that now the NFL is a procedural drama.
Man.
Well, I mean, hey, I've been seeing some promising things in AI research, so maybe now they'll just replace all the refs with, like, Footbotron 4000, an artificial intelligence ref system.
Is it gonna be like
does he have like lasers for eyes?
Yo, is it gonna be like iRobot, and then like one of them's gonna be like sitting across from like one of the investigators? I did not throw the game.
And so, like, I don't know, maybe the football ref AI can have a drone that penalizes players with lasers if they played incorrectly.
I did not murder him. What? Yes, I did.
There's some sort of like electroshock current running through the field. And just, like, Tom Brady throws an interception, zap.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure the AI.
Like zapping who? Brady or zapping like the player that intercepted him? Because that could go either way.
Yeah, probably. I guess it'd be more like, like a safety leads with the crown of his helmet and, electroshock.
Yo, I tell you, like, if those, like, the electric, like, light beam, like, goalposts, like, existed in, like, your Madden 06, anything's possible.
True.
I remember that.
God. Yeah, in that game, Zach, there was, like... They were trying to, like, predict, because your franchise mode could go up to 30 seasons into the future, and so they were trying to predict, like, what kinds of future technologies might be employed in football stadiums, and so one of the things was laser goalposts, and there's just, like, no goalpost until you're about to kick, and then all of a sudden, it's like lightsabers.
Well, they got 18 more years to go to get that, because, like, 12 years, and we really haven't gotten much from that except more convoluted rules.
Yeah.
So
it's amazing.
So yeah, like if y'all gonna do that, y'all got 18 more years to work on that, guys. The engineers, go ahead, work on that.
But anyways, besides that, the Red Sox are kicking ass. They swept the Yankees.
Sweet.
We'll maybe circle back to that in a little bit. Because, I mean, this might be the greatest Red Sox team ever.
Y'all better win that chip, man.
I know, it's getting to the point now. Just with the Dodgers last year when they went on that crazy run where, like, now if you don't win the championship, it's kind of a disappointment.
I mean, think of what happened with the Warriors when they blew the 3-1 lead. Oh, or the Patriots when they, like, went 18-1. Like, oh.
And,
gosh, what's with us and NFC East teams in the playoffs? We done lost to the Giants twice, and we done lost to like, the Eagles. Man, would you think... Imagine what would happen if the Cowboys made a Super Bowl and, like, beat the Patriots in the Super Bowl.
Can you imagine that would be the ultimate Super Bowl that no one would watch is Cowboys-Patriots? Just the ultimate in, like, the just douchiest, most obnoxious fan bases.
Well, that was the Eagles. Like, that was the Eagles and Patriots, so wasn't that, like, when you consider that as, like, being the most obnoxious, like, Super Bowl?
I guess we had that conversation last year. I didn't really entirely understand.
But the Cowboys would be much, much worse, though. Because imagine if they won that Super Bowl, and people don't even shut up when they're like, achieving mediocrity. Can you imagine? Oh, no. I don't even want to think about that. That'd be like my worst nightmare.
Oh, I've been to a sports bar in Texas on a Cowboys football game night.
Really?
Yes.
Oh.
I'm sorry.
Do not care to repeat experience. Out of 10, would not go back.
Yo, what year was that?
Oh god, this is like I want to say about 5 years ago.
Was that the Tony Romo year?
Oh
no! There were a lot of very large men screaming loudly at television. I was not able to enjoy my burger in peace.
Oh man. Was it still a good burger though?
Yeah, it was actually decent. I have a thing for sports bar food. It's really good.
Good.
Fair. But,
Or at least sports bar burgers. Can't say anything else about other sports bar food.
Yeah, let's see.
And one more thing. Papa John, a racist.
I had some pretty racist pizza. I did not know it was racist until the day after I ordered it.
I do not condone or like the stuff he says, like this coming from like a black man like myself, but I still like the pizza because it's still got good flavor. Pepperoni and spicy Italian sausage for the win. But Papa John, well, you need to just like bury your, just bury a tunnel or something and just live there for a while because
he's already been ousted. He's no longer involved with the company. And he's now trying to like sue his way back in.
How are you gonna sue your way back into that?
To be honest, I have not been following the
That'd be like Donald Sterling trying to sue his way back into the Clippers, man.
So arguably he could
had
sue the
grounds to
company.
try.
So arguably he could actually sue for unfair dismissal by the board of directors. But once you get up into that high of level, he's probably going to lose just because the board can basically, if you really examine American corporate law, board could go, your stocks are very ugly, so we are going to fire you with a severance package. Goodbye. So he doesn't actually have that much of a chance of getting back in, but I'm sure he'll make noise and it will make certain people happy for a while.
They'll make sure he only has he's used most of his mana except for one, and then I'll be like mana leak.
Okay.
Our listeners definitely show up for a good Magic the Gathering joke every now and then. the intersection of sports fans and Magic the Gathering fans is just, that Venn diagram is just a circle.
And I might mostly retire from the game, so.
You play to win the game.
Hello?
If anybody tell you it doesn't matter, then retire. Get out.
Dang.
Anyways.
It sounds like that would be Zack's mentality if he was a coach.
Zach, just very quickly, describe to me what your managerial style would be if you were the highest paid public employee in your state, i.e. a college football coach.
You'd be like, this man.
Well,
so you're in charge of recruiting, you're in charge of hiring and firing the whole staff.
Ooh.
You have a very undue amount of influence over the entire school.
Good grief. All that power?
What
You're
do you
gonna give it to Zack?
Okay, so a little bit of important background.
Ooh.
In college, I wrote a paper. It was describe an excellent manager.
Uh-oh.
And for the paper, I wrote about Joseph Stalin, the Soviet dictator. So I think I would apply Stalinist principles to a football team. So I would have mysterious people in unmarked vans recruiting new players, and definitely have a force of people spying on the opposition, so I could gather more information to better win the game.
What, the Patriots? Oh, gosh.
Yeah.
Oh, God. Oh, no. He fits right in here.
And I would make sure that the upper echelons of my regime would be opaque and confusing to outsiders.
Can I ask you something, Zach? Is Joseph Stalin more sane than Vince McMahon?
Ooh, so you're saying put Vince McMahon as head of a country, as absolute dictator. I don't know.
He's done a lot. Vince McMahon's done a lot of despicable things with his company and stuff.
Well, so he could be like a libertarian dictator, just have a total free market nightmare state. I guess that would work.
I mean, as long as he doesn't have no storylines based around necrophilia, I think we'll be okay. Vince McMahon's done that. A lot of despicable storylines.
That is deeply unsettling.
It is. And as a wrestling fan, it's one of those things I have to forget, but then I'll go online and I'll read, well, wasn't as bad as it? Oh my gosh, did you have to remind me of that?
The last thing I had to do with wrestling was I was watching American Dad and the Hulk Hogan episode played, and Hulk Hogan's theme song was in my head for about a week.
Oh my gosh.
American.
I will fight for every man.
I would just start singing that in the car on my way to work.
Was that
was
that before or after like the was that episode before or after like the whole racist incident?
I have no idea. I think it's in like season 7. I just sometimes will put American Dad on repeat. So yeah.
I'm remembering a great piece of trivia I learned from the I should give credit where credit is due. It was the YouTube channel Todd in the Shadows. And apparently that song was written by 70s rock icon Rick Derringer.
Huh.
Yeah.
Who was best known for his other hit, Rock and Roll Hoochie Coo.
Hey. Yo, so Dan, should we go ahead and do our initiation with Zack?
Let's do it, man.
You have to lick like a jellyfish stinger and all, and then
all right.
and you gotta like gurgle like a pint of peanut butter while trying to sing the national anthem.
Excellent. Well,
my
my philosophy, I'll try anything once.
But no, go ahead, take it away.
We got pretty good results when we did this with Casey and a couple other of our guests over the last year. So just think back and give us just like whatever your earliest, even tangentially related sports memory is.
And what you like about sports and what you don't.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So I was really young, and
You were probably still taller than I was at that time.
Yeah, possible. I was a very tall child. So, and I found out my mom entered me in a raffle at a toy store.
Whoa.
And
Was it KB Toys?
I don't know. It was a local place where I was born in San Francisco. And the grand prize was a football signed by Joe Montana.
Yo.
Really?
1980s quarterback.
Oh.
And I won the raffle.
Get out.
Yep.
Dang.
Do you still have that football?
Yeah, it's actually in storage somewhere. But yes,
Is
I
it
do
mint
have.
condition though?
Is it
have like
very
bubble wrap and
good?
stuff?
Yep.
Oh my gosh, man. That is going yo.
Dude.
Yeah.
It's really, I never knew that story.
It never really comes up that often, but yeah, I have a football signed by Joe Montana.
Is it gonna be like is it gonna be like the value of like a Black Lotus?
Probably not. It's a neat little piece of sports memorabilia.
That's really cool,
Man,
dude.
you can tell your great grandkids about that.
About how old were
jealous.
you at the time?
Like 6 or 7, I think.
Man.
So that would have been, what, 20-something years ago? 22 years ago?
Yeah, 22 years ago.
Yeah.
I can't do the math. That would have been like 95, 96.
About, yeah. I was born in 1990, so it's, 95 or 96.
Yo, Mad 95 is like, and that's like a little tidbit there. Like that's when they introduced the 2-point conversion for that for the Madden games.
That's right. Yeah.
But go on. I'm a nerd. Sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, that's all right.
But yeah, so I guess just kind of take it in whatever direction you want. Your history with sports, your interest.
Sure. So I haven't usually been that much of a sports person. I'm usually more of a much weirder things on TV sort of person, but I've always enjoyed watching sports with other people because they get really excited, so I get really excited, and that's really fun. And watching sports without other people isn't usually that interesting for me. Didn't have that much of a chance to play many sports growing up because I went to a lot of pretty small schools. My high school only had 2 sports teams, and both were very bad, and
What,
I
really?
didn't want to go.
Word? Just
Yeah.
two teams?
I went to a tiny school overseas, and it had a soccer team and a basketball team, and both were incredibly bad at what they did.
You said overseas.
Oh, wow. Right.
Overseas,
Yeah,
where
this
at?
is...
Stuttgart in Germany.
Word. Oh, okay.
Yeah,
So, that's really interesting. So, what was the athletics like in school like there?
huge on soccer. Soccer, obviously, it being Europe, soccer was the number one sport. I will never forget the time I watched the not German and Italian, but French and Italian World Cup with, I think it was a room full of chain-smoking, espresso drinking Italians.
Oh.
So everyone
that was the 06 Cup,
yes.
right?
That was a fun time, and they all were the most excited people about anything I have ever seen.
Oh, that was like Italy had won that, didn't they?
Yeah.
And they won it on penalty kicks.
Take me through the moment of the headbutt.
Oh my god, so we're all sitting around the table. I'm like, 2006, me is just drinking a Diet Coke and all of a bunch of family friends. That's how I knew a room full of chain-smoking Italians. My family,
Fair.
too long for the podcast, have a very eccentric family. It's whatever.
Sweet.
And so I'm watching with a bunch of them, and suddenly, we see the headbutt go down.
Ooh.
We don't know what's about to happen. Then, boom! And the room goes wild. I see a cup of espresso, fly up. As one of them just starts screaming obscenities in Italian.
Oh, no.
But the espresso up in the air? Was it hot? Did it get on somebody?
No, it just goes right down on the rug. And I hear more profanity in Italian. More people are pulling out more cigarettes. And they're just yelling at the TV and everything. For the viewers who might not know, way more people in Italy smoke than in America. It's just a thing. It's way more normal there than here now. So,
I mean, yeah, it's probably more normal, and probably they also have less neurosurgeons.
yeah, probably. But whatever. So that was that was also a pretty amazing sports experience. But other than that, I'm usually not much of a team sports person. I ended up mostly just doing stuff I do martial arts now.
Oh,
Taekwondo.
Right.
Yeah.
Man.
And so that's really fun. And I go to the gym sometimes, and that's most of my current sports.
Have you looked up powerlifting or anything?
Yeah, I've thought
People have
about
done
trying
that.
to do that too.
I
Do a lot more lifting than I currently
That
do.
would just be careful with your joints and all. But have you ever looked up online of people actually doing powerlifting?
Yeah.
Because that stuff's insane.
It is. And then, I don't know, during the Olympics, I usually watch the judo competition, stuff like that. Because that's always cool.
Did you watch the cup?
I did not watch this year's cup.
Well,
I watched the final.
It also appeared during school hours and stuff.
Yeah, so I was at work most of the time, and I don't know, by the time I got home, I think I was watching The Expanse or something. I was just eh.
Yeah, by the way, also just fail on us as a podcast for just literally not covering the World Cup at all.
I mean,
whatever.
I mean,
man.
the one of the more predictable options won the whole thing. France.
Yeah, it was the Final Four was literally all European teams, and it was kind of boring.
The Final Four. It was the Final Four in the NCAA tournament. You knew when Villanova was one of the Final Four teams, you know they were going to win it. It was more like France. It was Croatia was my only hope of hey,
they were fun.
Yeah, they were really fun. I watched them from the beginning, from their the pool play to the all the way to the round of 16 and all, and until they got to the championship. I'm this team is really fun to watch. And then they ran into essentially the Patriots, and then they lost.
Well, that happens.
and then Japan blew a 2-0 lead.
Well,
they lost 3-2.
That also. I think that happens to a lot of teams that
All in the
just
second
play
half.
the French.
It happened in a matter of 20 minutes. I'm of game time. How, Japan?
It'll never be blowing a 3-1 lead, though.
Oh. Or 28-3.
Oh, man.
Man.
But, so you went to high school in Germany, and kind of a weird, crazy soccer obsessed sports scene there.
I mean, it's Germany.
So I remember in college, I know you're not a super big football fan, but I remember in college you're a 49ers fan, and that was right when they were really good during the Harbaugh years. And there was that 2011 playoff game where someone muffed a punt against the Giants.
So, yeah, I guess you can't really see my face, but I have a very pained expression on my face.
I like to think of the game or so before that in the playoffs when Vernon Davis had that game-winning touchdown catch.
That was fun.
And I remember Zack being happier that day than the one that we're trying to talk about. So
yeah, so I'm not usually following that many sports. But you know what? 49ers, hometown team, they really have a shot. So I start watching it, getting excited. Previous game, that game-winning touchdown, I'm like, yeah, this is great. Going somewhere. Next game, it's almost at the end. I'm like, come on, 49ers, you pull this off. Pull this off. It's going to be great. And then he drops the goddamn ball.
I mean,
Yeah, but God, fuck you, Kyle Williams. That dude is definitely not in the NFL now.
Good.
I think he probably like Brandon Bostic, probably got cut from the team after that.
I hope so. I hope he is now enjoying managing an auto dealership somewhere.
I mean, well, he can make money without having the CTE to go along with it.
That's
so
true.
He'll still be winning.
Although this is the part where we all remember that the league minimum is like $500,000 a year, which is still very low for pro sports, but
and more than Kyle Williams deserves.
But is it worth wrecking your brain over though?
For me, probably
for a year. Yeah, I'll do it.
I'd take 10 years off of my life for $500,000.
Yeah, I would too.
Like, take 10 years off your life and give 10 extra good years to your kids.
I could quit my job and live on that for like 10 years.
I do a lot of things I probably can't even say on the podcast. Just $500,000.
Just in case, though, with the whole brain stuff, you better hire yourself like a home health CNA. Wait, that's me! Yo! Just hire me as your CNA. I would help you for some of that money. I would.
Yeah. But okay, so in college, and so what are you up to now?
So I got a teaching job. It's a podcast, so I'm not going to say exactly where, but small town, rural Wisconsin.
We were bleeping out anyway.
Okay, fair enough. So small town, rural Wisconsin. I'm not that hard to find if you put any slightest effort in, which I don't think anyone will. So whatever. But,
that sounds like a challenge.
So, yeah, actually, maybe take that out. Anyway.
Listeners, why don't you stalk Zack?
Oh, man.
Please goddamn don't. This show is small enough that we don't have any creepy fans, and I'd like to keep it that way.
Oh, man.
So, I get down to my new job, and one of the first things, a really nice building mentor, because, like, all new teachers have a building mentor. This guy's really nice, and he's like, hey, something that really helps the kids get to know new teachers is you go to their sports games. I'm like, yeah, that sounds great, I'll do it. And this guy's super nice, huge baseball fan also. So,
nice.
And so I'm like, okay. And I'm like, I know nothing about the game. I know nothing about what's going on, but you know what? Sounds like the kids have fun. Mm-hmm. So I go to the first football game. It's down in this really tiny town in the middle of nowhere. It's an away game. And I just drove down there. I get there, and I was really impressed with how excited everyone was at this tiny town in the middle of nowhere. And just the energy was so high. People were so happy about it. And the rules of football were always a tad vague to me watching the NFL, which apparently is even more so now. But
what is a catch?
That's the least of their worries.
But, the game made total sense to me watching the high schoolers play. It made, instantly I almost figured out most of the game. Still was super confused for a little while on what the point of a down was and what the difference between a 1 and 2 point conversion was. But the core concept of the game made a lot of sense watching the kids play. And it was just really neat watching the kid that you have in first period running a touchdown 10 seconds after the start of the second half. Because I could tell, it was really funny to watch. I could tell the other team was thinking, oh, they're going to do something complicated. But I could tell our school's team gave each other a quick look, and our quarterback just ran for it and just completely faked them out with the simplest possible move, and it was hilarious.
Did you high-five that kid?
I gave that kid a high five when I saw him the next day.
Good man.
He said that was their plan. He said we made it look like we were going to do something super complicated, and then we just decided to go for it. And that touchdown took the lead, and they won that game. And they
man.
really hyped about it, and it was really great. And then another really cool thing about small town sports that I saw just with football was a homecoming game. Literally half the town turned up to the football game.
Shoot.
It was like 50% of the town, which, is only about 800 people, but still, it was half the town turned up, and it was great because the kids were so happy just to see everyone there for their game.
I mean, that's like when like the mom and pop shops, like the stores, like most of the town, like all the stores are closed so they could go to that
game. Game night during the school year, pretty much all the businesses in town shut down because everyone's just at the games. And it's really cool because I'm in such a rural area. It's even just neat, like if you're driving down the road and you see the stadium lit up at night, it's like this really nice, warm, inviting place that you can see from the road and know that everyone's having a really good time.
Man, dude, we need to experience that, like visit Zack there and just like witness that for ourselves.
Oh yeah.
I don't think we see that type. Well, I guess it just depends on the areas of where we live at. We need to like find that specific place, but find like a small rural area that has that type of passion. I mean, that sounds like it's really amazing, man.
It's interesting because like that's something that I can't really relate to just because I was homeschooled, so I didn't really have a high school sports team. But like, I mean, like D, what was it like at your high school?
I mean, people turned out for it, people love their football and stuff, but for real. But like, I don't think it carries I don't think I didn't pay too much attention to like the percentage of people from like the town like coming to the games, but that was a pretty good turnout. But I don't think it compares to like that magnitude of what Zach's talking about, like everything shutting down and then just like people just like at least half the town there. I didn't get that type of vibe. Like a good turnout, but nothing like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it was also kind of on a like really personal note for a second, but it was really fun. Like something I was able to do for my dad. My parents were super proud of me because I got my master's and everything. And a small thing I picked up from my dad was a hat from our school sports team. Because he played high school football when he was a kid in a very small rural town.
Really?
So, yep.
So it really hit home for him?
Yeah, it really hit home for him. And he was really excited to hear me go to the game and just watch the kids play. Because he said he remembered as a kid being so happy when his teachers would come and watch them play.
Do you get in free?
Yeah, I do. All teachers get in free.
Nice.
And, I always try to buy like a soda and a hot dog or something because the money goes to help some of the other programs at the school.
Do they do like the 50-50 raffle?
They do.
Oh, yes. Like the classic 50-50 raffle. So whatever they earn there, like you can get like half that pot. Like whoever gets the winning ticket that they sell.
Yeah, so like you can buy any number of tickets. I think it's like $1 a ticket or something. Yeah, and half of whatever is sold goes to, I think, more school sports programs and stuff. Because I don't live in a super developed area. So, a lot of the kids have to pay for a lot of their own stuff and everything.
Jeez, yeah.
And the rest, someone wins it, and everyone's really excited. It's usually probably $200 or something.
At least a couple hundred. It's pretty awesome.
It's always a good amount.
Yeah.
And then also, honestly, our school is really good about that. We have at least some sort of after school sports for the kids the whole year. So we have during the kind of fall, we have football for the boys, volleyball for the girls.
Y'all have cross country or something?
We have that in the spring, actually.
Okay.
So we're not cross country, but we have a track and field team in the spring.
Oh, okay, because I remember track and field would be in the spring, and I had a cross country team during the fall.
Yeah, I don't
winter track in the winter.
I just guess we just don't have enough people for that, and we'd have a bunch of frozen people in Wisconsin if we tried to do anything in the winter outside.
Ooh.
Cross country would just be extreme weather endurance.
Would that be on ESPN, the Ocho? When it's almost a sport, we gotta hear.
But yeah, then we have boys and girls basketball in the kind of middle of the year, and then we round it out with boys and girls softball and baseball in the spring, and it gives the kids something to do because, it's really nice for them because there isn't always a ton to do in these rural area. So a lot of kids who maybe wouldn't necessarily get involved in sports do, because it's a really positive activity, looks really good on their resume, and just gives them something fun to do.
No doubt.
Yeah.
And we have a really good, really dedicated coaching staff that really pushes like character education and stuff, and helping people be the best kind of teammates that they can be.
And plus, like, you also have mentioned, like, one of the more interesting parts about where you live. You're surrounded by a bunch of badgers and cheeseheads.
Oh, yeah. So this is Wisconsin, the home of the Badgers and the Green Bay Packers.
Hey, I gotta ask you something, though. Now, this is kind of like an inside joke for our fans out there, but did you ever, like, meet the Badger King?
Thankfully, I have never found him. One day I will find him, and I will only know true madness.
Honestly, just tell that story if you're
All right,
comfortable doing so.
so one day, freshman year of college, you're still trying to figure out what to do. I hadn't been sleeping that well for a little while. I don't know if it was mold in my dorm room, too much coffee, the crippling existential dread of being away from home for the first time, or some mixture of that. I was already tired, and then I completely fucked up and forgot to write a paper on the Russo-Japanese War that was due at 8 in the morning. So, doing the college thing, I just brewed a pot of coffee, and I think midway through the night I may have started just drinking out of the pot. Skipping the cup entirely.
That is gangster.
But you know what? I finished the paper, and I did end up getting an A on it, so that's good.
How the heck?
Damn.
I know apparently a lot about the Russo-Japanese War. But then, I'm awake. By the time it's done, class is at like 8:30 and it's 7:45. So I just kind of managed to shamble my way and get some breakfast. And my first class of the day is business. I'm just sitting there. And I'm asked, and someone asks, how does this fit into Maslow's hierarchy of needs? And all I can think of, I managed to keep my mouth shut because part of my brain was screaming, "This is not a normal answer, Zach. Maybe you shouldn't say it." Was badgers. So many badgers. And then I just proceeded to just take my stuff back to my room and wander around campus for a while, looking for the Badger King. I then proceeded to call my mom and go, "Hey, Mom, have you seen the Badger King?" And she just said, "Go to bed, Zach."
I like how she just went too surprised. She's like, "Yeah, you're probably sleep deprived. Just sleep."
So I ended up just buying some melatonin or something. And I think I slept for about 14 and a half hours that night. Because I was very tired. And I have never again seen the Badger King. But one day he may return for me.
The Badger King, you could make the case that's Aaron Rodgers.
Oh God, that's truly terrifying. Like one day a spectral Aaron Rodgers will appear in my window, coming to drag me away from my sins.
Holy
he's gonna do that to the Packers when it's time to pay him.
We did it. That's the intro. One day a spectral Aaron Rodgers will appear.
I know he's not a Badger. I know he's not a Badger, but he plays in Wisconsin, so close enough.
Yeah. So I used to live in Madison, Wisconsin before I moved from my job. And on game days for the Badgers, it was just a rule of thumb. Oh, do you want to do things downtown? That is not going to happen. Do something else, you are out of luck. Once I ended up downtown and somehow didn't realize that there was a game that day, I don't know, I think I was playing Magic the Gathering or going on a date. I don't actually remember why I was there. And suddenly, I hear a lot of shouting from all the bars along the main street. And just thousands of people dressed in red and wearing cheese hats come out just chanting about the Badgers and singing on Wisconsin.
Wait, were the cheese heads with the red?
Yes, they just mashed them together at that point.
And
most of them were very drunk, because Wisconsin, fair warning, has a lot of drinking going on, and so all of the fans were heavily intoxicated.
So, are we talking like beer fest?
Yes, it was basically a festival in the streets, as the Badgers had won against a rival that I also don't remember at the time, but they were all very excited and filled the streets with many cheers of "On Wisconsin."
Definitely had to be someone from the Big Ten.
Oh, it was. And it was a good year. I was very happy for the Badgers. Still not entirely sure what happened, and my memories of how I got home are very hazy and sepia-toned, but
The Badger King teleported you home.
maybe he did, and apparently he also must have paid my parking bill, but, you know.
Yo.
And then, of course, we have the Green Bay Packers.
Ooh.
Whew, great team. They do well. No one from Wisconsin hurt me. I said it, so.
Uh-oh. I think it's a great segue for what you was going to talk about.
And so, one time I'm out with a bunch of people at work, and I hear one of the funniest things I've heard the entire time I am in Wisconsin. The Green Bay Packers playing the Bears on the TV in the bar.
Apologize in advance, brother.
And suddenly, Wisconsin scores a touchdown on the Bears. And every single person in the bar, including the bartender, including a couple of the random children who were in there. Again, Wisconsin bar at 5 in the afternoon. You might see a few kids there, too.
Fair enough.
And, you know, suddenly everyone starts singing a song that is written to the lyrics of the tune, of On Wisconsin, except it goes, "The Bears still suck. The Bears still suck. They really, 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 really suck."
Links in the description.
And it is entirely added with, the song is changed every year for different people who are on the Bears and on the Packers, but the song remains the same year after year.
They got a reputation that's mostly based on luck. The Bears still suck. 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 They really, 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 really suck. Yes, the Bears still suck.
So those are my experiences about small town Wisconsin sports and sleep deprivation. And I guess if anyone really wants to learn about the Russo-Japanese War, you can contact me through the podcast.
There'll be someday we'll have some listener that is in the same situation that doesn't want to meet the Badger King.
Yeah, and they'll message me, and you know what? Like a really strange person, I will appear and tell them more stuff. So, hey, guys, you want to ask anything else about small-town Wisconsin sports?
I don't have anything. I mean, well, how does the sports compare to, like, from the old town Wisconsin you was in to compared to this current one?
So, I'd say people are way more I'd say people are really into it, but in sort of different ways. Where I am, it's kind of like small. It's like, people are really happy about being in a small town and supporting the local teams and stuff. And then in Madison, it's more of a all-day block party with lots of drinking, lots of people wearing cheese hats, and lots of people singing about the Bears still suck.
Previously on Dan vs. D.
First comment from Darkest-1 Cool Cat. I kind of squinted and it caught my eye and I looked over and it said Pillsbury football. And I was like, ooh, it's the art on the box that I want to call attention to. It literally is a picture of the Pillsbury Doughboy in a football jersey diving to make almost an Odell Beckham Jr.-esque catch. Just barely crossing the plane into the end zone. I will literally email Pillsbury and be like, why the fuck aren't your goddamn football cookies on the website? So a long time ago, almost a year ago, actually, now that I'm thinking about it, we did a segment about the Pillsbury football cookies.
I still can't believe all the events that transpired on this, man. I can't believe it, man. It's like your obsession, yo.
So, way back when, I was really disappointed because I was trying to find just a picture of the box to show D, because I think we were already taping and we didn't want to like stop and go all the way to the store just to look at football cookies.
I would have got me like a soda or something to go along with it.
And I was like frantically Googling while we were taping and I couldn't find it. And so I went to Pillsbury.com and I tried to find the football cookies on the website and they weren't there and I couldn't find them. And I was so disappointed. And so I literally, after we were done taping, I literally sent an email to Pillsbury customer service and asked them why the cookies weren't on their website. And they never replied, which, I mean, whatever. Fair enough. They probably knew I was trolling. But then, fast forward almost a year, probably like 10 months later, I just was over at Dee's apartment one day, and I was on his computer, and I don't even know what possessed me to do this, but I was like,
you're obsessed, man.
I wonder. I remembered those football cookies, and so I went to Pillsbury.com, and I just typed in football. They're on the website.
Hey, customer requests apparently work.
You did it, man. Cha-ching.
I'm choosing to believe in the reality in which it's my customer service email that inspired the head of the Pillsbury website to re-add the football cookies. And it couldn't have anything to do with any sort of seasonal shifts in product lineup or anything like that.
I mean, no.
So I thought it would be very important to leave them a token of my gratitude. Because turns out they allow comments and reviews on their website. And so without any sort of further preamble, I'm going to ask Dee to read the comment I left them. I gave them 5 stars. It's from DVD with lots of E's.
Two E's in between each of those.
And it's been rated as helpful once by me.
Okay, so are we going to do this?
We're doing this.
And Luke in the background, man, like, get a little of this, man. This is crazy, man. Like, I like how my name is also attached to this, even though this was all you're doing. so here it goes. They did it. I was searching for this all over the internet almost a year ago and couldn't find it on this website. I looked high and low and eventually gave up and emailed Pillsbury customer service asking them to put the football cookies back on the website. I'm so glad they listened. These are so good, and the box art is among my favorite box arts of all time. Thank you, Pillsbury. Done.
Am I trolling? Am I sincere? You decide.
I think you have a problem with these football cookies. I think that's like you're like cocaine or something at this point.
I think the only logical next step is to tweet at Pillsbury from our Twitter, which, by the way, is at DVD Sports Show with 2 S's.
I mean, now I might try to see if I can find Dan like off-brand Chinese knockoffs of these cookies on Alibaba.com.
Alibaba.
It'll just take 3 months to get there, no bigs.
Oh yeah, and it's the website I find everything from to small jewelry to heavy industrial mining equipment. I'm not a shill for Alibaba.com. I just get bored late at night and Google things on them.
When I hear Alibaba, I think of this book I used to read, like The Adventures of Alibaba Bursting, because this guy like read the book Arabian Nights, and he was tired of being like the 3rd or 4th David in his like class, so he decided to like unofficially like change and go by Alibaba. It was actually a pretty good book.
All right.
Anyways, felt like you should all know that's a call out to God. Again, a very, very old episode.
That was
episode 4.
Football cookies, yeah.
Thank you all for listening. This has been kind of fun, kind of a weird one. It's been quite a while since we've taped one of these. The reasons for that need go without explanation.
I was just saying it's like just challenging times. We're humans. We're not robots, so we don't have the inability to feel human emotion just yet. But
that would be really nice.
It would.
If that was an ability you could just turn on and off at will. That would be kind of nice.
But like, I want to just drop a tidbit. I guess it's sort of become like a little bit of a tradition the last couple of episodes, like just like a little like slight monologue, I guess. I just want to say to everyone, our listeners, like all 5 of you, and that's being generous, but any people who's listening, whatever, like
a number greater than 2.
Yeah. Life is hard, man. And if people say otherwise, then they haven't been through stuff yet in their lives. I want to say that, regardless of how hard things get, there's always a brighter day. There's always someone that has it worse. But the thing is, like, never downplay like the pain that you feel or the struggles that you're going through in life. Because like there's people that's there willing to help, and there's people that's willing to listen and to help you get through like those rainy days. So like I just say for people just going through their stuff, stay true to yourself, stay strong. Don't be afraid to to seek out a helping hand and whatnot, and then just keep grinding, because you can't get through any challenge if you stand still. You have to grind it out, like where you're getting a 1 yard gain or like a 10-yard gain for a first down. Just keep pounding, and then eventually you'll get to that light at the end of the tunnel. So just keep grinding, and then you'll win.
I like it.
And hey, whenever life gets you down, just remember the Japanese sunk the entire Russian fleet at the Battle of Tsushima with no losses.
I need to read that paper.
That was perfection.
Man.
It's been a real blast. Doing this show has been catharsis for me over the last year plus. We never actually officially celebrated our 1 year anniversary of the show, so
You're doing like a late celebration on our 13th episode.
this has been a very wonderful experience for me, and it's reconnected me with so many different people, all of the people in this room, and my dad, which we'll do another episode with him at some point.
Can't wait. Mark Scott.
It's been a blast. I love doing it. It's something that might help me get a job, might help me actually get a job doing this sort of thing at some point in my portfolio. So it really is invaluable to me, and I appreciate, even if it is just a handful of you that are listening, I very much appreciate it.
We all appreciate it too, man. We all do.
Vampire expects everyone to do their duty.
Do your job. Oh my gosh, New England.
I was wearing this shirt, I weirdly looked at my own chest for a second. Anyways, I think that's it. Thanks, guys.
Yep, and I can only say oh man, do your line, man. That's like one of my favorite parts.
Why do I forget that?
I don't know. I always remind you of it because I just love it. It's like my favorite thing in the podcast.
In the words of the great Alice in Chains singer, the late and great Alice in Chains singer Lane Staley, I wish I could just hug you all, but I'm not going to.
But someday you will. And what's your one line send off then?
The Empire expects everyone to do their duty. Admiral Togo, Battle of Tsushima.
Done.
Peace, y'all.
There's the podcast.
Mission parameters Euclid in effect. Carlos, Jackal, Sierra, Niner. Lethal parameters accepted.